Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Aaron and today I'm going to be talking to you about the differences between the Wltoys 144001 and also the LC Racing emb-1. Apologies if you can hear my bird in the background, it just does not stop chirping, so that's why you can hear birds chirping in the background. So, these videos have probably been overdone, especially with this being the most popular buggy or cheap RC of 2020. Majority of people that are coming into the hobby now that are new tend to go for this because of the price point. But I just want to be going over really if you've already got one of these, or if you're looking at one of these and you're experienced in the hobby, you would have probably seen that there's quite a lot of people out there that are making them brushless and making them go over 100 miles an hour. And if you scour through like the Facebook pages and some of the forums, you can see that there's quite a few people that have had, shall we say, certain issues with bashing them, certain particular things sort of go wrong with them. There's particular weak points, and really you need to upgrade them to get the best out of them. Now, all things aside of that, that obviously costs money. So what we're going to try and establish today is, if you were to buy one of these and straight away want to upgrade it, what would the price difference be between buying this and doing all the upgrades, or just going out first of all and going for the LC racing? Would there be any benefit? Would it work out more expensive or cheap? So that's what we're going to be going through. So this was mine. I was absolutely happy with it for about 2 weeks, being a brushed setup, and you know, quite a lot of fun with it. But I soon got bored and wanted to make it faster, make it look different, make it handle a bit different. So I started modding straight away, pretty much. So that's what I've done, and this is it now. As you can see, I've done a truggy conversion on it. It's also brushless, and it's got a few little extra bits on it from not from Wltoys, sorry, from LC Racing. So we'll take the body off. As you can see, in here we've got a brushless motor. I've down geared it because they're geared quite high as standard with the brush motor, which is, you know, it's fine. If you know, brush motors obviously they don't rev as high as brushless motors, so that's probably why they've done it. But I wanted to sort of gear it down a bit. I followed a tutorial online by Qualify RC, very good instructions on how to use a 2845 motor instead of the 3660 I think they use to sort of mate up to the standard motor mount. So yeah, I've used a 2845 motor with a 17 tooth pinion, and then I've got a what is this? It's a Hobby Wing 60 amp ESC. It's a very good ESC. I've had a few cheap ones and they've been absolutely crap. I've put 3S on them, they've not blown up in, well, I think the quickest one blew up in about 10 seconds. So yeah, I thought, do you know what, might as well just spend a bit of extra money and go for the more expensive ESC. So 2S, this does about 30, I think 38 on my GPS, which is, you know, it's respectable for you know, a 2S little truggy like this. And yeah, so to get it to this level, there are a few things that I've had to change on it. The gears are standard. The differential gears, the stock ones, they wear out quick. Most of you guys do know that the stock gears don't really come with any sort of lubricant. You get a tiny bit of white grease in it, and that's it. So majority of people put lithium grease in there. I tend to run silicone oil, quite thick silicone oil as well, because there's no seals inside the differentials, so it does eventually come out and you have to redo it. But yeah, I went for the upgraded version of the gears that can be bought online. I think I paid, I've got it all written down here actually, exactly what I've paid. So yeah, the gears were £15, and it's a really good upgrade because now they're quiet. They're very quiet and they take a lot of abuse. Like I say, I use this mainly for bashing, so yeah, that's one thing that I would say is probably worth doing, even if it's a standard truck or buggy, you know, whatever you've decided to do on it. So yeah, that was one thing that was definitely worth upgrading. The other thing was the arms. Now the plastics on the Wltoys are not as nice as the LC Racing, so I went for, they do like a hardened set for £7 in the UK, so that's what I decided to go for, and yeah, they've held up really well so far. The plastic on them is a lot better than sort of the standard Wltoys plastic. Another thing to note as well is that the metal on the chassis and also the shock towers, a few people have complained that you know, they're not very strong, which I can see that some people that have been bashing them really hard, they've not been very strong at all. So compared to the LC Racing, the metal on this is probably junk. So that's the 144001. Okay, so now let me bring in my LC Racing emb-1 and we'll look at some of the differences on it. Again, this is brushless. Uses a 1401 motor on this, and this is a 4850 kV. This has only got a 30 amp ESC by Hobbywing, but the main thing with this is it's got a super clutch, unlike this which is direct drive. Now direct drive is absolutely fine, and quite a few cars do run direct drive, but especially if you haven't upgraded the metal spur gear, if you're still running the plastic, obviously, and you're running the brushless, in time that's gonna, you know, it's gonna burn out. Especially if you're doing a lot of hard punches on it. I mean, obviously you can dial down the ESC if you want to, but chances are over time you're going to burn that out. Whereas with a slipper clutch, it slips, so the only thing you're going to wear over time are slipper pads, which are pretty cheap. I think I paid about £3 for a set of slipper pads on this. And the overall build quality on this is just a lot better. You can see that the metal is a lot nicer. The screws are a lot nicer. The diffs feel a lot nicer. The diffs are sealed as well. They come with little wire rings that go inside there, so you know that when you put your fluid in, it's not going to start falling out, you know, after, you know, 10-15 runs and you've got to rebuild the diffs. Also comes with sway bars. The shocks are a hell of a lot nicer. That's another thing actually I'll say about these. Obviously out the box, most people say to re-bleed the shocks because they're not bled properly, which they're not. But also the seals on these, over time they start leaking, especially if you're doing, you know, jumps and bits and pieces. This feels a hell of a lot squishier than this, which it feels set up for racing. It feels set up for racing. In terms of like bits being able to be swapped over from this to this, majority of it is just plastics. The chassis, for instance, is completely different on the bottom. I'm pretty sure someone's tried doing this beforehand and said that it didn't work. I'm not going to bother trying to see if it does work or it doesn't work because I don't need to. So I know that the plastic arms definitely fit on here because these are LC Racing ones. The bumper here is LC Racing on this. This is off of a monster truck. The Truggy LC Racing Truggy body mounts definitely fit because obviously I've got the Truggy body, although it's been cut down. The wing, that's probably one good upgrade actually, is the wing. The wing on the LCs are plastic rather than Lexan, so they don't, well, they bend rather than just sort of snapping, especially in like the cold weather. This has been on here for 6-7 months. This thing likes to wheelie a hell of a lot, and it's taken various different tumbles, and the wing, yeah, right, it's a little bit worn at the back while I've been doing wheelies, but apart from that, it's strong and it's held up. So yeah, that's one thing that's probably worth doing. A lot of things that, well, a lot of questions that do get asked, or questions rather that's asked quite a lot, is are the diffs compatible? they're not. The housing on the LC will not house the diff for the 144-001 because the diff gears are completely different sized, and also the bearings are as well, so the cups won't fit in. I've no doubt that if you were to take a whole differential assembly and the housing itself and pop it in, it probably would fit, but you're talking quite a bit of money there, which is obviously the main focus on what we're going for today with this video. So yeah, let's look at the the pros and cons, shall we say. Yes, out of the box, obviously without it being a truck, it's just being a buggy, this is a cheap vehicle, and if you're new into the RC world, it's a very good platform to go. I can understand why someone would want to pay £70 for a ready-to-run buggy and be quite happy with it, rather than paying, say, £225, which I think this is now ready to run, and have the same sort of enjoyment out of it. But like I say, majority of people that are on like the forums and that, they're experienced RCers and they want to upgrade stuff straight away. So I've done both. I've bought this standard, run it standard for a little while, done all the upgrades on it, and then bought one of these. I was lucky enough to get this second hand and it was a bit of a bargain price, so I couldn't really say no to it. So what we do, I'll give you a price breakdown on it. So this, for instance, the car straight away on its own cost me £70. From there, I obviously put a different servo on it, and that was £8. Got a different motor, that was £10. The pinions go with the motor, it's £3. Speed controller, £40. The different gears, or the upgraded gears, £15. The stronger arms, £7. The receiver, because obviously you need a different controller rather than the stock one, that's another £9. And then I went for a sealed bearing set because these don't come with sealed bearings, and that was another £15. So the total outlay without a controller or a battery for this was £213, and that's also including, obviously I didn't say, the truggy conversion kit. So £213 for this as it is. This is what it stands me in. If I was to buy one of these, the kit is £169. With the kit you get the speed controller, the motor and the servo, meaning that the only thing that you'd need to buy for that is a receiver for £169. This is where it gets interesting. I'll pop that aside. If you buy this buggy, and yeah, right, it's a big outlay. The thing with LC racing is that this platform doesn't just stretch to one vehicle, it also stretches to two. And LC Racing have been very clever with this. For £36 you can buy a truggy conversion kit for £36. So if you've been riding around with your buggy and you think, actually I quite like the look of the LC truggy, for £36 you can buy this kit, which will come with the wing, painted body, wheels and tyres, and they're very good. Chassis and guardrails, prop shaft and top plate. And once you've got that, like I say, for £36 you can turn your buggy into a truggy. This is the LC Racing truggy for £36. Alright, this is a big outlay first of all, I'll get that, but you're getting so much more. This buggy can be turned into this for £36. Wltoys haven't thought of that. I know a few people out there on the Wltoys forums have thought about it, because obviously now with the 124019, which is the bigger brother to the 1440-01, you can obviously turn your small buggy into a longer buggy. But LC Racing already thought of that. They thought of that beforehand. For £36 you can turn your buggy into a truggy, making it longer, a bit sturdier. Obviously I've got different wheels and tyres on mine, but it's more bashable like this. Definitely more bashable. This is more set up for racing. Definitely more set up for racing. It's fantastic for racing. This, like I say, I use this for bashing. I also use the 144-001 for bashing. Using the pair of them together at the same skate park, I can send this over pretty much any jump without fearing that it's going to break. Diff housings don't break, the arms don't break, the cups don't break. This is a lot sturdier design, and the quality of materials is just a hell of a lot better. So if we take the price into consideration, £213 buys you a fully upgraded 144-001. £169 plus your receiver will buy you the buggy of the LC Racing. A lot better quality. You only spend another £36, you've got the choice of both. You see where I'm going with this? So, if I buy this kit for £169 and then buy the truggy conversion kit, so I've got a choice of 2 cars and my receiver, that comes in at £214. That's a £1 difference between these cars. Now it starts to make sense. It starts to make sense when you break it down. I'll put it there for you there. £1 difference for the LC. And the LC can change into 2 cars. I did do a bit of a pro and con between the two. So the 144, obviously we said it's got direct drive. Cheaper plastic, lower grade metal, hasn't got sealed gears, doesn't have sway bars, but is very, very cheap and good for beginners if you don't plan on making your car fully upgraded, should we say. If you're happy to just run it round as it is, brushed with the little 2S that it comes with, and you're absolutely happy with that and you don't have any plans on upgrading anything, go for the 144-001. Just do it. It's a brilliant little car, and for £70 you're getting a bargain. However, if on the other hand you're looking at a 144-001, you're an experienced RCer and you're seeing these people online that are breaking parts and doing brushless upgrades and upgrading all the bits, for instance, like what I've upgraded, take a look at this, because there's so many more advantages with this. And yeah, it's a bit of an outlay first of all, but when you bring it down to it, there's a £1 difference in it. That's going to do it for this, guys. This video. I think we're done here. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. What car's your favourite? What would you choose? Me, I like the truggy of the LC Racing. I also like the 144-001 truggy. I like them all. This is only going to be used for racing. I've not got a racing buggy, so now I have. This is insanely fast, but I do worry every time I take it out I'm going to break it. This is, it's not as fast as a 144, but it's damn strong. Damn strong. I know that I can take this over any sort of jump and I know that it will land it and it won't break. If you're not subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing, because I do want to try and get more people on board with my channel and hopefully do a few more reviews and in-depth talking on bits and pieces. Let me know in the comments what one you prefer out of all three. 144, LC Truggy, LC Buggy. What one would you choose? Thanks for watching guys, I'll see you again next time.